Hello everyone, I'm Asha Best. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are safe and sound at your place. Today I welcome you all in Class 5 EVS, a new chapter, British Rule and the First War of Independence. As we all know that for many years we were slaves under the British rule. In this chapter we'll understand the causes and effects of the First War of Independence in 1857. We'll get information about how the British rose the power in India. We'll also discuss unrest during the British rule, the causes and the result of the unjust laws passed by the Britishers. So let's begin. India in ancient time. How our country was in ancient time? What was its condition? What kind of trade was going on during that time? So let's discuss. India enjoyed a flourishing trade with Europe in the ancient time. In the ancient time, our country India was flourishing as per the trade which we were doing with the European countries. Indian spices, silk and cotton were very famous in European market. European countries used to trade with us. They used to take spices, silk and cotton which was widely grown in our country that time, and that was of good quality. So all the European countries, they attracted towards our country for trading purposes so that they can earn good money by trading with us. They were taken by land to ports. While doing all these trading activity, first of all, the production, whatever is produced in the country, that used to be taken by land to different ports which were there near the water bodies. From the ports, those goods were taken or loaded in ships for the European countries, where these products were sold. So that time what I wanted to tell you that India was flourishing in the trade. They were earning good fame, good money by trading with European countries. This is the picture of an old boat or ship, you can say, through which people used to trade with other countries that time. How things begin to change. But suddenly after a certain period of time, the things started to change. Things begin to change after a Portuguese explorer, Vasco da Gama, discovered a direct sea route from the lowest coast of India. Before that, this sea route was not discovered. So, people used to travel long distances through sea route from India to the European countries. But the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama discovered a direct sea route which shortened the path for the traders, which make the area, or you can say the journey easy for them to reach India and to trade with India in an easy way. After the discovery of this new sea route, Europeans began sailing to India directly for trade. Now they were sailing to India directly. It shortened their route. It made the journey easy for them. It reduced their time. They reached India in a short period of time after the discovery of the direct sea route by the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama. This is the picture of the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama. You can see here. He discovered the first direct sea route from Europe to India, which made the trade easy for the European countries with India. Who reached India first? As earlier in the previous slide, I told you that India was producing good quality of cotton, spices. So that is why these traders got attracted towards India. There was a kind of competition going on among us, the European countries, to trade with India. The Portuguese were the first to reach India for trading purposes, as earlier we discussed about Vasco da Gama. So the Portuguese were the first to reach India. They were followed by Dutch. After the Portuguese, Dutch came to our country, and then the French people also discovered it and started trading with us. These traders made huge profit from their trade with India. As these traders were very interested in trading with our country, and because they were getting good production, or you can say good quality of silk, cotton and spices, whatever items or articles they were purchasing from India, as these things were of good quality, so they were earning a good amount of profit while trading with India. So they continued with the trade. Due to that, like I said, Portuguese, the Dutch, the French and the Britishers, they came to India for trading, but finally they had a competition amongst themselves, and they started a rivalry among them, and they wanted to trade with India. Every single country they wanted to trade with India, and due to that the competition rose. They started just you can say stopping the trade with India by the other countries. They wanted to trade with India, they wanted to be the only one to trade with India. Due to that, they just placed many distractions in the routes for other people, those who wanted to reach India. They tried to sink their ships, they tried to fight for the trade with India. Due to that competition, they developed a kind of rivalry amongst themselves. But finally, the Britishers win the competition. The Britishers won the competition, and they finally, after winning the competition, they started to trade with India. They forced Indian people to sell their articles, sell their things in low cost to the Britishers only. So the Britishers were the final winners after ousting other European powers. How did the British come to rule India? The British came to India as for trading purposes that we discussed earlier. When they started coming to India, that time one motive was there, that to trade with India, that to earn maximum benefit from India. But soon they realized the need to establish their rule over Indian territory for free trading. Earlier they came for trading purpose only, but they soon realized that until and unless they have the power in their hands, they will not be able to do the free trade with India. So they started thinking, they started realizing that why it is important to rule India if they want to earn maximum benefit from this country. They started building ports, and initially they started building ports as well as they started maintaining armies, at their own trading centers. They establish many forts also nearby the ports so that they can reside in these places. They can arrange the labors in these places. They can make the labors settle at one place nearby the ports so that whenever they require them, they will be available. The first sign of this change was the Battle of Plassey in 1757 in Bengal. This is the picture of the first War of Independence which took place in 1857. This war took place due to the unjust laws passed by the British officials, and the Indians were against all these rules made by the Britishers. So this first war of independence took place during that time. Now let's talk about Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey was a decisive victory of the British East India Company over the Nawab of Bengal and his French allies on 23rd of June 1757. Under the leadership of Robert Clive, which was possible due to the defection of Mir Zafar Ali Khan, who was Sirajuddaulah's commander-in-chief. This battle actually fought between the British ruler under the leadership of Robert Clive with Sirajuddaulah, the Mughal Nawab that time. And in this battle, the Britishers defeated Sirajuddaullah's army. Why? Because from Sirajuddaullah's army, Mir Zafar supported the Britishers, as the Britishers told him that if he just goes against Sirajuddaulah, then Sirajuddaulah will be removed from the position of Nawab and Mir Zafar will be placed at that position. So due to that, Mir Zafar supported the Britishers. He accepted the offer of Britishers. He started supporting Britishers, and due to that, Sirajuddaulah got defeated in this battle. Then after that, Battle of Buxar took place. The Battle of Buxar was fought on 22nd of October 1764 between the British forces under the command of the British East India Company, led by Hector Munro, and the combined armies of Mir Qasim and Nawab of Bengal till 1763. Earlier, during the Battle of Plassey, the Britishers told Mir Zafar that he will be made Nawab of Bengal if he supports Britishers in that battle. He did so, and the Britishers made him Nawab, but soon he realized that there is no power in his hand. He is just a follower of the Britishers. He could not accept it. Later he realized that he is a Nawab. He should have the powers of Nawab. So, due to that the Battle of Buxar took place. Mir Zafar was made the Nawab of Bengal for a second time in 1763 by the company just after the battle. Unrest. People of India were unhappy due to the unjust laws made by the British. There were many laws which were made by British that time, and those laws were not accepted by people. They were unhappy with those laws made by the Britishers. So they started rebelling against the British. They started joining their hands together so that they can show their anger towards the British rules and the laws which they passed. Kings and Nawabs unhappy. The kings and Nawabs that time, they were unhappy. The power of the kings and Nawabs was taken away by the Britishers. Many unjust laws were passed by the British, like the doctrine of lapse, according to which if a ruler died without leaving a male heir, his territory would pass on to British hands. For an example, you can say Rani Lakshmi Bai, the Queen of Jhansi, her husband died without a male heir. They adopted a son, but the Britishers didn't allow him to sit on the throne or to become the next king of Jhansi. Due to these kind of laws, there was unhappiness amongst the people, so they started revolting against the British. The powers of Nawabs and kings were taken away by the Britishers. They were just the puppets in the hands of the British people or officials. Doctrine of lapse, like I explained, according to this law, ruler died without leaving a male heir, his territory would pass on to British hands. So, this is all about this chapter. Hope you liked it. We'll soon meet with the second part of this chapter. Till then, take care, thank you, and have a nice day.